What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
So I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately because I had just updated the website with a bunch of new artwork over at inspireddisorder.com. So it involves a lot of editing of video because I record everything. And one of the shows that I just binged through because it's super interesting and not something that I thought I would be interested in, Slobby's World, which is Slobby Robby, who is I assume some level of like an internet personality, at least a personality in Tucson, Arizona, where he owns a shop, Generation Cool. But he's definitely a character. What he does, it's the show's very much like a Comic Book Men, where they buy and sell, comic books and pop culture memorabilia. Slobby Robby is more fashion, but also toys and things like that from the 80s and 90s. So very specific to like the millennial Generation X groups, which are, it's very trendy to be into the shit from, pop culture stuff from the 80s and 90s. I mean, watching the show just reminded me of like the things that I was into back then. I'm not one of the types of people that really like I don't really relate to it now. I haven't kept up with that shit. I don't give a shit about fashion. I am very unfashionable, I would say. So watching a fashion type of a show where he's into it, it's even though I'm not into it, he's super passionate about what he's into, and watching that on TV as a host, as a character, is addicting to watch because you can watch anybody that's passionate about what they love, and they're able to share it with the energy, a good energy, then it's super addictive. And that's what the show was for me. Because I don't give a shit about like name brands, like all of this stuff. I really don't give a shit about. Like as far as pop culture stuff, like I've gotten rid of all of my things multiple times in my life because of moving, mostly because of moving. So I don't really hold on to that much stuff. Vinyl is kind of the closest thing that I collect, and I really don't have a huge collection just because I can't afford, to buy vinyl. But I understand. Like, I have a lot of friends that are obsessed with, Legos and video games, and just anything from their childhood is just an obsession. But this show overcomes that for me. I'm able to let go of the fact that I don't really give a shit, but I enjoy the fact that he gives a shit, because he gives a shit in a very unique way. And I'm talking about Slobby Robby. And I don't know, he's just a fun character. Like, he doesn't give a fuck whether it's like actual legit. I mean, he does. He understands the pricing and what things go for, and just he's super in this world, so that it's interesting to see and hear about a lot of the minutia of what goes on behind the scenes in a lot of ways in this world that I have that's like so far away from where I'm at. But it's similar to comedy in a way. Like, I love stand-up comedy, and I know all the behind the scenes shit, but I'm not a stand-up comedian. So it's interesting in some way. I'm not going to all of a sudden get into fashion just to nerd out on fashion like I do comedy. But it was interesting to take that trip with Slobby Robby through these episodes, and how he uses social media. I don't know if he was a social media character before this, but it's interesting. So, and he breaks down the different, like, just legit stuff versus the remakes or the bootlegs. Like, bootlegs are, inspired products that they're not like replicas of a product that company actually came out with. It's not like trying a Folex where it's trying to fool you that it's a Rolex. He collects that shit too, but the bootlegs he likes more, which I enjoy more. It's more of a remix, more like fan art. So it's like, I wish like Cartier made, a belt or some shit. Like I don't know that. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if those terms are correct, but you get the idea. Like what if this high end brand made like just a silkscreen T-shirt for like just not like in which they probably did eventually, but it's just interesting to see where they get the clothes to. As far as like a reality show, I don't really give a shit. It's not as much about like the other people that work there. Like we're not going into their lives or anything like that. It's really just about the culture of collecting and trading and fashion and pop culture and things from the 80s and the 90s, but more so than like, trying to make reality TV stars, which I think he's pretty much the only star in the group, I would say. But we'll see. Maybe if they do more seasons, it'll turn into, like Pawn Stars or whatever, where we're seeing the backstories of these people. But I guess, I don't know, maybe we do. I just thought it was a fun show. It was a fun watch while I was editing video. It's just, he's got like this crazy gravelly voice, like it's just, he's just a very weird, like not weird, but unique dude. And his fashion's super unique. He worked with one of the episodes. He's pitching fashion ideas or combinations to the company. What are they called? Jack Threads, where they're kind of like a subscription clothing service. Actually, they're not a subscription. They're like they have just unique clothing options, and they kind of sell you these kind of prepackaged options in a lot of ways of like nice brands. And it's like all, through social, mail kind of a thing, but it's not like a subscription box necessarily. It's just more of an online store, but they have limited options. They kind of a curated store. And he was pitching a few outfit ideas, which were super, like the way he dresses. Like I would dress like that. It's fun. It's really fun, and I don't give a fuck what I look like necessarily. So if I'm out there looking fun, that's good. But I don't have the money to spend on a lot of clothes, and I don't have the time to figure out. I'm colorblind, so I don't. I've never been very good with colors and matching shit. So it's like fashion has always been this thing that's like I don't get. It's that kind of creative outlet that it's just so far detached from what I'm into and what my strengths are. Similar to like being an architectural, like somebody who drafts architecture and does like 3D. Like I can't do that shit. I mean, I probably could. Like if I wasn't colorblind, I probably could get. I would understand it more. I mean, I understand it. Definitely am open to not just hating on fashion. Let's put it that way. Like this show made me hate less on, not necessarily people that are into it. I mean, if you're into it the level where he's into it, where it's like legit, versus like somebody that's just like really just doesn't know who they are and just trying to buy a way to fit in. Like that, I don't like that, man. I like that he's like his own kind of thing. He puts himself together. You can tell like he has a style, but he puts himself together unique from what most people do, which I enjoy, versus people that are just like, I mean, you see some of his clients are like that, where it's like, I only wear polo shit. I collect all polo shit. It's like, that's too much of an obsession over a brand for me. It's like, I love Apple shit, but it's not like I own all of the Apple products and then I wear all clothing. Like I don't have like Apple employee shirts or anything like that. Like there's a line that I try to stay away from, just because once you get too obsessed with something like that, people get kind of crazy, and I'm not willing to get that kind of crazy. But go watch Slobby's World on Netflix. I enjoyed it. I'm sure you will. If you like those shows at all, it's a fun watch. New episodes of this show come out every day. Subscribe everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at patreon.com/inspired disorder. inspireddisorder.com for all of my artwork and podcasts and everything that I do. Please go buy my artwork. They sell for as low, original pieces, paintings, as low as $24. inspireddisorder.com. At Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.